Alright, hello? People, am I doing this? Is this how this works? Hmm. Hello? Yes? Is there a way to tell if there are people here? I guess, hi. My name is Kaveh Akbar. I am a poet, as you likely know. I just got home from my flight landed. It was delayed a little bit, so my flight landed at 7:20 or 7:25 or so. And I just got home like all of 10 minutes ago. So I've just been in airports all day, and now I'm here with you all. I hope that you all are actually here. I'm not entirely sure that I did this right, but hopefully, if you're not, it will have been an interesting experiment for all of us. Maybe less interesting for you, but it will have been an interesting experiment for me. So I guess I'm just gonna start right into the poems, if that's okay. And I guess if it's not okay, then I'll never know. So yeah, I'm gonna be reading from this chapbook. It's called Portrait of the Alcoholic. I wrote it. It's not just some chapbook that I have in my hands. So I guess I'll just start reading. Oh, the thing just said 10 people are watching the video. Okay. Alright. Hello, 10 people. That's neat. I've never done one of these Facebook Live things before. It's kind of fun. Hi, 10 people. The first poem I'm going to read is called Some Boys Aren't Born, They Bubble. Can you guys hear me okay? I guess I have no idea. Hopefully you can hear me. This poem is called Some Boys Aren't Born, They Bubble. Some boys aren't born, they bubble up from the earth's crust, land safely around kitchen tables, green globes of fruit already in their mouths. When they find themselves crying, they stop crying. These boys moan more than other boys. They do as desire demands. When they dance, their bodies plunge into space and recover. The music stays in their breastbones. They sing songs about storms, then dry their shoes on porches. These boys are so cold, their pilot lights never light. They buy the best heat money can buy, blue flames, swamp smoke. They are desperate to lick and be licked. Sometimes one will eat all the food in a house or break every bone in his jaw. Sometimes one will disappear into himself like a ram charging a mirror. When this happens, they all feel it. Afterwards, the others dream of rain. Their pupils boil. They light black candles and pray the only prayer they know. Oh Lord, spare this body. Set fire to another. I hope that you guys are actually there. I mean, I like reading my poems anyways. I mean, I guess like is like a flat word for it, but it's interesting to me to read my poems anyways. So even if you guys aren't there, this won't have been for naught. But that said, I do hope that you guys are there. Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, either way, it's nice spending time with whoever among you is here. 10 people have reacted to this, so that means that you guys are here. Hopefully your reactions aren't like, we can't hear you, because if that's the case, then I'll never know. Again, this poem is called Calling a Wolf, Impatient. I don't often read this one. It's the title poem for my full-length collection, but I can count on one hand with fingers to spare the number of times I've actually read it. at readings or anything like that. I don't know why that is. I don't dislike it. I obviously named a book after it. Um, anyways, calling a wolf, impatient. Like the sky, I've been too quiet. Everyone's forgotten I'm here. I've tried all the usual tricks, pretending I've just been made terrifying, like a suddenly carnivorous horse, like a rabid, hissing sapphire. The medical response has been clear. Sit patiently until invited to leave. Outside, the lake is evaporating, dry blue like a galley proof. A month ago, they dragged up a drowned tourist. His bloat white belly was filled with radishes and lamb shank. His entire digestive system was a tiny museum of pleasure. Compared to him, I am healthy and unremarkable. Here I am reading a pharmaceutical brochure. Here I am dying at an average pace. Envy is the only deadly sin that's no fun for the sinner. This makes sadness seem more like tradition, loyalty to a parent's past. I try to find small comforts. Purple clover growing in the long grass, a yellow spider on the windowsill. I am less horrible than I could be. I've never set a house on fire, never thrown a firstborn off a bridge. Still, my whole life I've answered every cry for help with a pour, with a turning away. I've given this coldness many names, thinking if it had a name it would have a solution. Thinking if I called a wolf, I might dull its fangs. I carried the coldness like a diamond for years, holding it close, near as blood, until one day I woke and it was fully inside me. Both of us ruined and unrecognizable. 2 coins on a train track, the train crushed into one. That's a neat little thing where I can see, oh wait. Oh, this is my little house. You guys see? This is my little apartment. That's my laptop. And this is me again. I just thought that you guys would want to see. Filthy, my cat, is around here somewhere. He's over there eating his food. This poem is called Do You Speak Persian? Some days we can see Venus in mid-afternoon. Then, at night, stars separated by billions of miles. Light traveling years to die in the back of an eye. Is there a vocabulary for this? One to make dailiness amplify and not diminish wonder? I have been so careless with the words I already have. I don't remember how to say home in my first language, or lonely, or light. I remember only Delambrat Tang Shode, I miss you, and Shabache, good night. How's school going, Kaveh Jun? Delambrat Tang Shode. Are you still drinking? Shabache. For so long, every step I've taken has been from one tongue to another. I need to order the world. I need, you need, he, she, it needs. The rest left to a hungry jackal in the back of my brain. Right now, our moon looks like a pale cabbage rose. Delambrat Teng Shode. We are forever folding into the night. Shebeche. I'm not sure how long I've been going either, because my phone screen is also my clock. And right now, what time is it? 8:16. I think that I'm supposed to only read for 15 minutes, but I did start a little bit late. So maybe I'll read one or two more. This poem is called Every Drunk Wants to Die Sober. It's How We Beat the Game. Hazrat Ali, son-in-law of the Prophet, was martyred by a poisoned sword. While saying his evening prayers, his final words, I am successful. I am successful. I want to carve it in my forehead. I've been cut into before. It barely hurt. I found my body to be hard and bloodless as glass. Still, for effect, I tore my shirt to tourniquets. Let me now be calm for one bucking second. Let me be open to revision. Eternity looms in the corner like a home invader saying, don't mind me, I'm just here to watch you nap. If you throw prayer beads at a ghost, they will cut through him, soft as a saber through silk. I finally have answers to the questions I taught my mother not to ask, but now she won't ask them. As a child, I was so tiny and sweet, she would tuck me in, saying, Mush bukuradet, a mouse should eat you. I melted away that sweet like sugar and water, like once fresh honey dripping down a thigh. Today, I lean on habit and rarely unstrap my muzzle. It's hard to speak of something so gauche as ambition, while the whole wheezing mosaic chips away, but let it be known, I do hope one day to be free of this body's dry wood. If living proves anything, it's that such astonishment is possible. The kite loosed from its string outpaces its shadow. An olive tree explodes into the sky, dazzling even the night. I don't understand the words I babble in home movies from Tehran, but I assume they were lovely. I have always been a tangle of tongue and pretty want. In Islam, there are prayers to return almost anything, even prayers to return faith. I have been going through book after book, pushing the sounds through my teeth. I will keep making these noises as long as deemed necessary until there is nothing left of me to forgive. I think I'm going to read one more, and then we'll go to, I think there's a Q&A component, although again, I'm really bad at this, and I apologize to everybody. I know it's not fun to just hear me talk about how I'm not sure how I'm doing or how things are going. It says that 10 comments so far, but I don't know how to see those. I don't know. I'll figure it out after I read this poem. Maybe I'll figure it out. But I have confidence with our power combined. Will overcome my vast fields of ignorance. This poem is called Portrait of the Alcoholic Floating in Space with Severed Umbilicus. The umbilicus is what connects the astronaut to the space station when they're free floating. You know, that long tube that was severed from Sandra Bullock in the movie Gravity. That's the umbilicus. That's literally what it's called. And so this poem is called Portrait of the Alcoholic Floating in Space with Severed Umbilicus. Thank you guys for coming. This is a cool thing. I hope that you guys can hear me. Portrait of the Alcoholic Floating in Space with Severed Umbilicus. In Fort Wayne, I drank the seniors, Old Milwaukee, Old Crow. In Indianapolis, I stopped. Now I regret every drink I never took. All around, coffee grounds and eggshells. This sweating, a mouthful of lime. As a boy, I stole a mint green bra from a laundromat. I took it home to try on while my parents slept, filled its cups with the smallest turnips in our pantry. The underwire grew into me like a strangler fig. My blood roiled then as now. Back on Earth, frog spit is dripping down wild aloe spikes. Salmon are bullying their way upstream. There is a pond I leapt into once with a lonely blonde boy. When we scampered out, one of us was in love. I could not be held responsible for desire. He could not be held at all. I wonder where he is now. If he looked up, he might see me, a sparkling. I always hoped that when I died, I would know why. My brother will be so sad. He will tell his daughter I was better than I was. He will leave out my cruel drunk nights, the wet mattresses, my driving alone into cornfields, unsure whether I'd drive out. I wish he were here now. He could be here. This cave is big enough for everyone. Look at all the diamonds. Thank you guys for coming out in whatever capacity you guys have come out. My partner Paige just brought me a laptop. Wow, I'm like watching myself in the past. Oh, this is wild. Okay. All right. Oh, look, Carly said you're doing great, Kaveh. Okay. I didn't realize that I was sideways this whole time. Okay, maybe I can... Does this make me not sideways? That's fun, though, that I was sideways, right? That's a unique take on the standard paradigm. I'm trying to set this camera up, but if you guys want to ask questions, if you guys have any Q&A questions, I'm happy to answer them. I think that they'll pop up here on this computer. You guys said so many nice, sweet things. I'm just now, I had no way of seeing the, and your verticality has occurred. And you could all hear me. This is wonderful. Wait, I'm reading the comments backwards. Yeah, if you guys have any sort of comments or anything like that, not comments, questions. I mean, comments if you want to post a comment. But if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer questions about, I mean, my specialty is poetry, but if you have, existential questions or questions about the NBA Finals or questions about the meaning of life, any of these things. Julie, you're very sweet. I'm happy to answer questions or questions about any of the poems, questions about poems in general, questions about the new Star Wars movies, questions about anything. Or I mean, if you don't, we're who is a poet I love that I think would surprise everyone? Ooh, that's a really, really good question. So I was driving to the airport to read in St. Louis a few days ago, and on the ride to the airport, my partner Paige was driving me, and I made her listen to this song by the rapper, musician, poet Kanon, who many people know from the FIFA 2012 World Cup song Wavin' Flag. He has the "When I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag." You know that song? He sang that song. He's also just like this incredible musician broadly, and he has this song called Fatima. That's like the most devastating. You should Google this. Kanon, K apostrophe Naan, Wavin' Flag. is the name. Or, no, not Waving Flag. The song is called Fatima. Waving Flag was his like famous single. Um, but every time I hear that song, I cry like 100% of the time. Ever since I first heard it, it just and I'm not a big like I don't cry easily. I'm not a person who is easily brought to tears. Though when it happens, it's usually by aesthetic experiences and not lived experiences. I'm getting to your question, but this song is like maybe the song that makes me cry most easily of any aesthetic experience. Like it's just sort of like this button that I know that I can press and it will make me cry. There's it's like just this very sad sort of love song about childhood romance, and I think you should all just Google it. Anyways, Kanon would be my answer to your question. Kanon is a poet who might be sort of out of left field. Okay, I'm now looking at these questions. Oh wow, so now there's like a lot of questions. Thank you, Stephanie. That's very, very, thank you very, very much. How do I write when on the move? That's a great question. I often don't write when I'm traveling, which is not a great answer because I kind of wish that I was. A lot of the times I'll use travel time to work on revision, I've been working on translations of the contemporary Iranian poet Nagar Emrani, and I can do that while I'm on the road because that's something that I can sort of come into and come out of, or revision is something I can kind of come into and come out of, whereas the actual composition of new drafts is something that I'm like kind of obnoxiously precious about. I kind of have to dance up to it, and I have this whole routine, and if I'm not like in these sort of optimized conditions, it just doesn't usually go well. But you know, it's an opportunity when I'm traveling to turn my attention to revision, which I'm usually averse to doing when I have the ability to compose new drafts, just because I know that the like vast expanses of time that it takes for me to be able to compose a new draft of something, those vast expanses of time are rarer than the times when I have like, you know, an hour to devote to tinkering around in revision. So that's not a really useful answer because I know you're asking about, it seems like you're asking how do I write when I'm on the move and not how do I revise, but the only truthful answer I can give is that I don't really, and I can write prose too when I'm on the move. Prose is something I can come in and I come out of, but poetry is sort of a more elaborate song and dance. Ooh, Carly. Hi, Carly. It's good to see you here. What's on my summer reading list that I'm super excited about? That's a great question. I just started Paul Beatty's new novel, or knew it. I guess it's not new anymore. It won the Man Booker Prize last year. But I hadn't read it, and everyone was talking about it, and I just, you know, I didn't have time to invest in. It's a really, really dense novel. If any of you have read Paul Beatty before, especially this one is super, super dense, and I'm just starting it, and I love it. It approaches the treatment of conversations about race in America in a way that I've never quite experienced before. It's almost as if like it's inverting the Berryman praxis of like being Berryman was sort of this white guy who mined minstrelsy and in these kind of ways that are very cringy now, but Paul Beatty kind of reverses that, and has a black protagonist who's speaking in vernacular, but then also like playing with just common idiom of like the sort of like mindless dead like legalese and like jingoistic rhetoric of the American vernacular, and it's really, really, really fascinating. But again, I'm like maybe 50 pages into it, so I don't have anything intelligent to say beyond that. I'm really, really excited about moving deeper and deeper into it. Yeah. Does Filthy Darley says, does Filthy help you concentrate when you're writing? I'm a cat lover. No, Filthy does quite the opposite. Filthy will attack me and attack my writing at every opportunity that he can get if he notices that it's occupying my attention more than he thinks it ought to be. But I don't usually compose. I don't write at home. Usually, my office is about a 15-minute walk away from where I live. I'm sitting in my bed right now talking to you. And so I can sort of roll out of bed and get to my office and be writing within a half hour. I like to write first thing in the morning. So I typically go there for a variety of reasons, but chief among them is that Filthy will not be annoyed with me for not paying him enough attention if I'm writing there. And I won't be... A lot of the times I'll take like a writing break if I'm writing here to just cuddle with Filthy, and that can turn into just a sort of lost 45 minutes of momentum of just rolling around with Filthy. So yeah, he's not as involved in the process as he would like to be. Hi, Jacob. Jacob is a Simpsons lover, fan, friend. Simpsons fan. Also a friend I got to meet at AWP this year. Jacob says, I wish I had a really thoughtful question, but all I can think to ask is whether or not the use of argle bargle in Descent Nanula is a low-key reference to Kent Brockman's argle bargle or foofara in an episode of The Simpsons. I think that, Jacob, you're probably in a position to notice this better than just about anyone else, but there's like an astonishing amount of stuff, just language that I get in my poems that like begins as like a riff on like a line from The Simpsons, because Simpsons was one of the first places that I ever went that taught me that language was a site for fun making. You know what I mean? Like that just like the raw material of language itself was inherently delightful and could be put together in weird Lego block ways to achieve a kind of delight that was different than the kind of delight that we have when we're just talking with each other. And I think about that a lot in my writing. I've said, I did an interview a while back, and I said that it was like, the question was like, who are your biggest writing influences or something to that effect. And I said in like a completely earnest way that one of my biggest writing influences was like the staff of Simpsons writers from 1990 to 1999. And I think that they thought it was kind of a joke, but I mean it with complete sincerity. I think it's one of the biggest influences on my writing. So yeah, I won't speak to any specific references, the Kent Brockman, argle bargle usage, but yeah, I think that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Brooke says this series is genius. I agree. Hanging out virtually, lounging in their Sunday pants. Like I said, I just got off a plane like 45 minutes ago, so I'm still wearing my plane pants. I sort of expect most of us to have takeout food nearby. I wish. If you were to do a similar event again, what would you have ordered? Do spring rolls satiate the prepping for a poetry reading, or do rice noodles keep up the poetic gears enough? Brooke, this is one of my favorite questions I've ever been asked. So here in Tallahassee, the takeout options are a little bit limited. It's not exactly a super, super great food hub. But if you're asking me like my ideal pre-reading meal, I want to say it wouldn't be super, super heavy and oily. Though I do like super, super heavy and oily. I'm a real gross eater, just generally speaking. Uh, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I was to get something ordered here in Tallahassee, we do have a place that delivers sushi. It's a little pricey though, so I don't get it very often. But maybe if I was like getting really, really hyped for like a big reading, I might get some. I might get like a couple nice, clean rolls with not a lot of like mayonnaise or fried mush or anything like that. Uh, uh, and probably tea. If this were under optimal circumstances, I bet I would have like a pot of tea by my side right now. But again, I came into my house and then 10 minutes later I was talking to you guys. I came into my house like off an airplane and then 10 minutes later I was talking to you guys, which is really fun because you guys are catching me like. I feel like we're like catching each other at a state of heightened emotional arousal, which is a good place to be, I think. Anne asks, "Who are the people on your wall behind you?" The people on the wall behind me. I'm sitting in my bed right now, and I for years have kept like a sort of like just wall of poets above wherever my bed has been, just as a sort of way to I don't know, like have their sort of genius seep into me in my sleep. Is sort of, I guess, the rationale. Yeah, I honestly haven't put a lot of thought into it. I just like having them there. It makes me feel good and safe. But who they are specifically, we've got Ellen Bryant Voigt here. Oh, and these poets come up and go down. You know, some have been up for years. Some will go up for like a month while I'm really obsessed with them, and then come down and be replaced. You know, it changes. But so this is Ellen Bryant Voigt. This is Jean Valentine. I can see I'm trying to figure out how to do this like while I'm pointing and directing the phone. This is Robert Hayden, who is everyone knows Those Winter Sundays, but I feel like he's underread. Besides that one poem, this is Lee Young Lee, who is pretty great. This is William Packard, the original editor of the New York Quarterly. He was like a big, big influence for me editorially, and just sort of his editorial posture and curatorial aesthetic in those old New York Quarterlies. And also just his interviews with poets were like the first literary interviews I ever loved before I discovered the Paris interview, craft interviews. This is Sohrab Separi, who's really, really important 20th century Iranian poet. Kazem Ali has a beautiful translation of his work out, I think with Boa, maybe? Not sure. This is Wisława Szymborska, who, if you've not read it, I mean, her poetry is obviously incredible. She won a Nobel Prize for it, but she also has this, if you guys feel like it, you should Google her poetry advice column. Just Google Szymborska, Szymborska, poetry advice column. It's on the Poetry Foundation website, and it's one of my favorite poetry anythings. This is Fanny Howe, who, is just incredible in every way. Lives for a couple months every year with a bunch of monks, and then writes incredible poetry. She also wrote a beautiful little blurb for my forthcoming full-length collection. This is Anne Carson, who is Anne Carson. Anne Carson lives in Canada. That's like the bio that she uses when she publishes often. This is Carl Phillips, who I actually got to see in Seattle. St. Louis, which is where I just came from in the plane. This is Franz Wright, who was a very, 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 very important poet to me. And this is Mary Ruefle, who is also wonderful. So yeah, that's my wall of poets. I guess that's probably a good ending point. Thank you guys for spending time with me. This has been really beautiful. I kind of want to find Filthy for you, so that we can sign off together. He's over here. All right, so from us, Filthy, say bye. Oh, no. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you all for hanging out in Poets and Pajamas. I will see you guys on the internet. Bye.